I just had to make sure we live, man. You feel me? We live. We're gonna let some people file in, all that good stuff, real quick. Not gonna be a short live, or not gonna be a long live, should I say? Just some things that have been on my mind post Super Bowl. Want some people filing here? We'll get right to it. What's good? Scotty Boy said worst Super Bowl ever. What's good? Scrub Zero in the building. LaChance in the building. What's up, man? Let me see. I make Scrub a moderator. There we go. All right, there we go. Cool. But yeah, some things was on my mind after watching the Super Bowl, and I was just thinking about the last few Super Bowls. Some of them, just looking at the score, ideally you would think they were close games, but in reality, they really excuse me, they didn't feel as dramatic as the score would indicate. Obviously, last night, Seattle Seahawks, New England Patriots, snooze fest first half, horrible. Second half, horrible. Fourth quarter, they finally decided to put up a bunch of points, still hit the under. But everybody I've talked to, coworkers, people that watched the game, friends, etc., nobody said this game was exciting unless they was a Seahawks fan. Everyone said either they stopped watching by the second quarter, halftime. It was tough to get through. It didn't matter who it was. People, it didn't matter if they didn't care who the teams were. It was a tough watch all the way around. Halftime show, the whole shebang, very reminiscent of the Rams Patriots 13-3 game. The halftime show there was terrible as well. So we know this year was terrible. Last year it was an ass whooping. People did enjoy seeing the Chiefs get humbled and get that ass beat, and seeing Taylor Swift get booed and this, that, and the third and all that. Sure. The game itself, though, that shit was over at halftime. Realistically, I wouldn't say it was one of their best. It was, if you're a hate watcher, it was good. If you wanted a close game, terrible. The year before that, Chiefs 25-22 against the Niners, overtime. On paper, it looked like this was an exciting game. The Chiefs made the late comeback. Only problem was we were privy to this already. We had seen this before. Damn, every Super Bowl win they have, they come from behind to win. So we were privy to it. At least for me, it wasn't exciting. Does knowing that it's scripted play a role? Little bit, but that one, it just felt way too, like I said before, choreographed. The year before that, Eagles, damn, I almost said Supersonics. Chiefs, Eagles, 38-35. Again, close score on paper, but when you saw the game, you saw how it played out. It wasn't even really dramatic. Chiefs won off a field goal. Kadarius Toney had the big punt return. It felt like it was missing something. It was missing that oomph. The year before that, the Rams beat the Bengals by 3. Rams trailed essentially most of the game. Came back late, fourth quarter drive. Matthew Stafford ended up winning the game. Excuse me. And we know Aaron Donald, he put his stamp on the game, sacking Joe Burrow and all that other shit. That one felt the same way, where it just felt we knew what the fuck was gonna happen going into the fourth quarter. Like, oh shit, here come the Bengals been leading, but here come the Rams. They're gonna win. They was at home the year before that. Buccaneers 31-9 against the Chiefs. We know about that. It was an ass whooping start to finish. Mahomes was running backwards most of the game, throwing across his body. Year before that, Chiefs won by 11 against the Niners the first time they met up in Miami. Mahomes' first ring. We've seen this before, but this was the first time we had seen it with Shanahan as the Niners head coach in the Super Bowl, leading 10-point lead, if I recall, going to the fourth quarter. They ended up losing the game. I forgot his name, Damian. I want to say Damian Harris, but I don't think it was Damian Harris. It was a Damian. I know his name was Damian that had a touchdown run. did his thing in that game. Sealed it before and the year before that, Patriots 13-3. We know about that. Leading me to February 4th, 2018, Super Bowl 52, the Eagles beat the Patriots. And this is what I would say would be the last truly exciting Super Bowl. This is the game where Nick Foles made a true name for himself. The underdog story. They had the dog mask. Tom Brady, Bill Belichick. They weren't talking on the sideline. Malcolm Butler, for some magical reason, mysterious reason we cannot explain, was not playing. They had all this bullshit talking about curfew and all this stuff, and it's like we knew why it looked like he. I think he cried too, if I recall. Staying on the sideline, not playing. That nigga cried. But that was the last time that we saw an exciting Super Bowl. We got a lot of points. We got the Philly special, which they still have in man for some crazy reason. Tom Brady ran a route, didn't catch the ball, of course. Nick Foles, we know he caught a touchdown pass. The game was exciting. There was just enough defense, I guess, on the Eagles end, but overall, it was a shootout. This is the type of Super Bowl I like to see. That's what I wanted to see. The year before that, because they was on a little streak where they were doing their thing. Year before that, we know about 28-3, Patriots first overtime Super Bowl, should I say? 28-3. They checked the boxes on excitement on that one. It was a slow burn. It wasn't a sudden fourth quarter in the last 5 minutes. Oh shit! Here come the Patriots just putting up all these points. No, it was a slow burn. Year before that shit was a snooze fest. Denver, Carolina, Levi Stadium, 24-10. The famous Cam fumble where he didn't get the ball. That was one of those snooze fest type of games. And the year before that, we all know the Patriots and the Seahawks. The first time, ball at the 1 yard line, get a ball to Marshawn, but they didn't. They passed. Malcolm Butler made a name for himself in that Super Bowl, and we know the rest was history. Year before that, Seahawks 43-8 to the Broncos, ass whooping, absolute destruction from the start of the game. The tone was set the moment Peyton Manning had the ball snapped over his head and he had to run to the back of the end zone. This other Super Bowl before that, the Ravens and the Niners. This one could have went down as another one of those lopsided Super Bowls with no excitement unless you was a Ravens fan like myself. Or if you was watching, you like, damn, this shit over with. I'm tuning out. They turned off the lights. Gave him a little break. Roger Goodell's on the field talking to the players, obviously saying, "Hey, man, y'all got to let these folks back in the game. People gonna tune out. We had Beyonce. We gonna make that an excuse as to why the generator went out somehow in this big ass stadium that we have all this money invested into, all this attention on for essentially an American holiday known as the Super Bowl." That was They ended up making that shit close. Obviously, you can make an argument about that last play for the Niners in the red zone, but they ended up making it exciting. It felt like there was an effort to make these games exciting, whether it be the Giants, Patriots, part two, Giants won 21-17. It still felt exciting. Packers, Steelers, Packers essentially had that game from the start. Steelers made it look close at the end, but I wouldn't say it was one of the most thrilling, but I wasn't bored. Saints, Colts, the onside kick. They added that to Madden at the time, where you could do the surprise onside kick where you didn't even have to necessarily call the play. It's a good feel good story, not necessarily a thriller. Super Bowl 43 though. I hate the Steelers, but I ain't gonna lie, this game was exciting to me. Cause they gave the Cardinals hope with the Larry Fitzgerald touchdown. He was looking at himself on the jumbotron running. You thought this game was in the bag. But nah, Big Ben, Steelers, the pass to Santonio Holmes, whose foot was out of one of his feet was out of bounds, but it was ruled a touchdown. One of those iconic plays, especially if you're a Steelers fan in recent history. And the year before that, Giants, David Tyree, helmet catch, thanks to some magnetics, against a then undefeated Patriots team. We haven't gotten that in the last few years. We don't have those crazy ass moments like that. And I feel like the when they brought in all of the betting and just made that a hyper focused thing versus in those other Super Bowls I just listed, where sure people still betting, we all know this. They weren't having commercials and ads thrown in your face because it wasn't legal in all these damn states. But the moment they brought that into play, that is when it turned into what it is now, where you having kick fest, no name ass niggas getting touchdowns like Barner, and not the stars getting their touchdowns like in the past. Say JSN would have had a touchdown or Diggs would have got targeted more in the Super Bowl, things like that. So that's where we are now, where they just care more about that than the actual entertainment product that is the Super Bowl. This upcoming Super Bowl, I expect the same thing at this point. Roger Goodell is essentially turned into Triple H. At one point, he was Vince McMahon before McMahon got old. Now here's Triple H. Dragon said, I hate the Vegas limits creativity and purposeful rigs for boring matchups if they think it can make them more money. Exactly. Like they'll still do some things for the casuals, get some names out there so people know who that is. Like people know Stephon Diggs for nothing good, really. Cardi B. They got some celebrities there. Obviously, fans of the Patriots, fans of the Seahawks. They had that there. That's cool. But the product, good lord. And what's even more frustrating is the fact that the regular season this year had exciting ass moments, whether it be Steelers, Ravens, Bears, Packers, 2 and 3, Seahawks, Rams. Like they had some exciting games. But when they got to that biggest game, it's like, come on. Come on. The biggest stage where you got people watching, whether it be people who don't even watch the NFL like that, but they and their friends get together to watch the game. And now they not even interested in the game. You could have potentially secured a fan like they did with the Taylor Swift shit, how they got a certain demographic. But nah, they just cared about the betting aspect of things. And it's gonna eventually bite them in the ass. Same way it eventually got to the NBA for that same shit where they kept doing the Warriors and the Cavs, and people got fatigued the fuck out from it. And you see how bad the product is now when it comes to the finals in the NBA. NFL might fuck around and be in the same position, not to that degree because football's America's pastime, Super Bowl's a holiday, the final sure as shit isn't. But they need to watch out with that shit. College football, we seen that shit go down the hill too. Playoffs, cool, great idea. The build up, not bad. But when you got to the big game, that's when shit got boring. This year, it was meh. So everybody fatigued with the Patriots and the Chiefs. That definitely played a role too, as far as the last few Super Bowls with the Chiefs, especially. Patriots, I would say it truly set into the point that where people weren't interested was at 13-3. Even the 28-3, people were mad that the Patriots won unless you a Patriots fan. But at least they made the game exciting. They made it come down to the wire. They made it come down to the wire against the Seahawks round one at the 1 yard line. You sitting on the edge of your seat, regardless if you didn't like Tom Brady, Bill Belichick, Robert Kraft, or whoever. The Eagles versus Broncos Super Bowl next year, I would not count on it. It definitely won't be the Lions, that's for sure. That's the thing. If they went with certain different matchups too, I'm not even gonna say rematches, but changing it up from just the Chiefs and like somebody mentioned the Patriots and the fatigue might be a little bit better. Might be, but really them trying to hit the under on points and all this shit, it's like, come on now. If you want to make your money somehow, screwing bets over, fine. But find other ways to do it than just ways that hinder creativity. Scrub said the NFL's coming up with some bullshit matchups that still held some level of entertainment. This one booty cheeks, but the AFC playoffs have been cheeks this year as a whole. I would argue the best game because a lot of them games were trash. Like every Patriots game was trash in the playoffs this year, whether it be Chargers, Texans, Broncos. Granted, two of those, they had snow. Super Bowl, trash. Best game was Bills and Denver, hands down in the AFC. Jags, Bills, it was alright, but it wasn't nothing to write home about. NFC, who'd you have? The Niners and the Seahawks. Game was over before it started. Like shit, I fell asleep around maybe the third quarter, maybe the start of the third. I was like, all right, man, I'm going to bed. I got the hate watch out of me anyway, watching the Bills and the Broncos. So I was like, shit, I'm good. But yeah, a blowout. Rams Seahawks. A little bit better. A little bit better. They redeemed themselves there on that one. Niners Eagles. No. Just no. Couldn't do it. Can't do it. I watched it, did not enjoy it. Panthers Rams was a good game. Yes, it was. You rather seen the Bills and Seahawks in the Super Bowl? The Bills take an L. I just no. I couldn't take it. I could not take it. And just the Buffalo Bills talk, it'd just be a bunch of Josh Allen glaze. Even if they had a lost, which they definitely would have, they still would have found a way to spin it to make Josh Allen have sympathy. Like I don't know if it's just on the sectors of Twitter that I stumbled upon, but when Drake May was crying after the game, there was no sympathy from people. They was just like, "Nigga, you play like shit, and you crying like a little bitch after the game." Like I'm paraphrasing, obviously, but that's how people felt when Josh Allen was crying and all this shit. There's like a 50-50. Some people like, "Oh, he crying, he weak, he soft." Other half is like, "Oh man, Josh, he just loves the game so much. He loves playing for the Bills, and it just means so much." All this bullshit. Say Chris Collinsworth be glazing. Yeah. I don't even remember if he said Patrick Mahomes last night. Because I saw a clip. Somebody asked him during Super Bowl Media Day, because they brought up, and I mentioned this before, these announcers be knowing about these cow sheep bets about mentions, about certain things that have payouts. That somebody definitely tell them, hey, don't say this phrase or that phrase. Because they didn't went out their way to not say obvious phrases in basketball and football games. Somebody asked him, was he going to mention Patrick Mahomes? That nigga started laughing. And he was like, he had this little back and forth. They were like joking about it. And he was like, I take it you want me to say it and you must have money on it. And the nigga had like a smirk on his face. And then he said, I will say it or whatever. I'm thinking he can't help himself, but I was like, big stage like this, doubt it. Payout wasn't even that great. It was like minus like 400 or something. If he even said it. It wouldn't have been worth it to even bet on it, but yeah, I'm just not a Chris Collinsworth fan. The name was scored 16 in the Super Bowl, Darnold won by 16. That of being way too greedy, Diggs did little. They didn't target him a whole lot. JSN, the fake injury, the concussion. That's another thing, the concussion shit. Like where they do that at, and especially in recent football time where someone supposedly has a concussion and then they come back in the game less than a quarter later. Most of the time when they do that concussion shit, he ain't coming back. They not coming back. They not gonna risk it. They not gonna risk the bad PR. But this shit, nah. 1 minute he had what's like something wrong with his ankle or something. Next thing you know, oh, he getting checked for a concussion. He walking back, and now he back in the game. Made one catch. And it's like, what are we doing? Walker's touchdown callback. Darnold intentionally losing 6 yards at the end to go under his rushing. That's a petty ass shit. And he overthrew JSN. That's another one in the first quarter. Had him wide open, would have been a touchdown. So they were sending out these damn pictures. The Super Bowl next year with colors already. They setting people up. They know that people are on to it. That's another reason too, is they know people are on to say the numbers, onto the colors. Which when you got say Rich Eyes and all these other people bringing it up, that's when they know. So yeah, they gotta throw people off. every which way. And like I said, if they really wanted to, really, they could make a game out of this shit for real, where it was more interactive and actually bring more fans in. And like I mentioned before on the Pick'em show, was it last week? Have Easter egg commercials, kind of like the little what's that Bleacher Report, Gridiron Heights, like a shorter version of that since they're commercials. Do something like that with players. That way you can market them and throw little Easter eggs along through the season, along the way. You ain't got to give a whole lot, but space it out every so many weeks. Probably like four. I'll say about four commercials in the regular season. Just space them out evenly, and that way it gets people invested. They gonna look into other shit. They be like, "Oh man, I'm gonna try to decode this commercial, and it's gonna be this whole thing." But nah, they don't want to do that. They running out of creativity. So they're trying to mess up prop. Absolutely. So you pressed about that bowl. Don't even care if it's obviously real. You still a football fan, but hoping Roger was setting up another Patriots dynasty. No, we don't. We don't need too many. That's nothing. We don't need too many dynasties back to back to back either. That's why I said last night they typically try to space them out. Like we had Chiefs fatigue. If you started up a Patriots dynasty right after that, boy, you start that shit right after that, people would lose interest. People will really lose interest because they'd be like, "What's the point? The Patriots gonna win, or what's the point? Chiefs gonna win?" So the criteria for a kicker winning MVP has to be insane. The kicker got to have the craziest backstory. Like he probably have to be from Australia and grow up in the desert fighting kangaroos and Tasmanian devils and shit. Like I said before, there is nothing you got to remember from a media standpoint because you got to make stories and things like that covering this stuff. Or say you do radio, there is not a good story for the average kicker worth making for say Super Bowl MVP. There's really not. Like no one cares. And it's not even just kickers. Remember when Malcolm Smith won the MVP? The year they routed the hell out of the Broncos. Who do people remember mostly from that team? It wasn't Malcolm Smith. It was Marshawn Lynch, Russell Wilson, the Legion of Boom, Bobby Wagner, who was at the game yesterday. Another sign, but they people would bring up anybody else but Malcolm Smith, who won the MVP. So again, it's popularity contest, really. Said the orange in the Super Bowl 61 logo is a dead giveaway. You think it's the Bears or Broncos or I swear to God, if you say the Bengals, bro, I might need. I ain't on restream. I forgot, but I'm gonna have to bring up that list again since you said the Bengals. Man, they window been closed beyond all belief. They can't even protect their goddamn quarterbacks. So they have to do dynasty stuff for the NFC. Give it 5 years, about 2030. I mean, that's really like four, but they might as well get some of these Super Bowl teams out the way. Nigga said Joe Montana could come out of retirement. No, the fuck he couldn't. He can shoot some commercials. That's about it. One solid hit to his knee is over with. And they're gonna be rolling on the ground like LeBron. To all the championship games ain't close. NBA. They tried to force with the NBA with their game 7 shit. It just doesn't it don't feel as authentic as it used to with the NBA. College football, we know they've been having blowouts and shit. They tried to make it, a little bit closer in the recent years, but it felt forced. So it can't be Chiefs, Patriots, Philly, San Fran, and Rams almost every year. It needs to be switched up. Chiefs is in a cool down phase, so it's not gonna be them. You ain't gotta worry about that. I've already said the Patriots, they stuck at 6. Phillies was way too recent. And San Francisco, they coach is Mike or not Mike, damn, Kyle Shanahan. Rams, they got theirs with Stafford. All he can do play and retire. He got his MVP, he got a Super Bowl ring, he got a Hall of Fame career. So we ain't gotta worry about them winning. Bills, Cowboys, Chargers, cooked by default. There are more teams than that, but yes, absolutely. Getting done because it's never the best teams that make the championship games anymore. Patriots and Pacers shouldn't have been there. Patriots, boy, that weak ass schedule. And we saw the path they made there in the playoffs. And they skated by just about really every game the Patriots skated by. Whether it be the Chargers, they skated by in that game. They skated by against the Texans. I know the score might look a little different, but had Shroud not thrown them all them damn picks, the game would be even closer. Denver, obviously, that was super close. And this game, yeah, you weren't skating by shit. That a lot of people are saying that hold up. A lot of people saying that the Dolphins are gonna play in Super Bowl 61 because of the blue waves I know I saw it and I was like, damn, those are Dolphins colors, but I know better. The Dolphins ain't finna do shit. They on the list, by the way. They on the list. Dolphins, there's about 20 something teams on the list. Invert the colors of the logo and you'll see the bill. Man, niggas is doing the most mental gymnastics with them bills. I swear, every year. The most mental gymnastics. Do not get me started on the Buffalo Bills, bro. Don't get me started on that shit. What's good, Lorenzo? He said just came in. We still have people in here thinking the Raiders winning the Super Bowl because of Tom Brady. I ain't seen nothing yet. Yeah, I haven't seen anyone say it yet. But we already got the Bills. I seen the Bengals. I was actually waiting to see a Browns on here. I see the Broncos. They get a Bears, Washington, and Broncos a chip. Let's slow down. Because all three of them ain't finna get a chip. I would say one of those three have a high chance, but all three, no. Hell no. Because I know all three of them about to get a new stadium soon. Broncos, I think, is the farthest out. Bears is, I think, second, then Washington. Did I mention people are tuning out late in the second half? How's the NFL sell commercial advertisers if they can't promise them? People are still watching the game the whole way through to the end. Well, they also know they can always bank on people who got money on the game. So even if the game is trash, if your money invested, by default, your emotions are going to be invested in the game. You might not give a damn about the Seahawks or the Patriots, but shit, however much money you put on the game, you said you were 12 now. You were 12 now. And now you a Patriot. These last decade, the Super Bowls haven't been competitive like the Rams versus Titans Super Bowl. You reach way back for that one. 1 yard away. So when you invert the colors of the Super Bowl 60 logo, you see the Patriots versus Seahawks. I think the only color that wasn't in there that neither team have is yellow. Like the sky blue and the lime green. Seattle, obviously, pink and purple, blue and red. I ain't gotta explain colors. Y'all know how colors work. You think Bengals and Ravens window for a chip is closed? You think, nigga, that shit been closed. What you mean think? The Bengals shit closed when they lost to the Rams. The Bills shit been closed forever. And after this year, it's really been closed. Lost to a nigga named Bo. Ravens, I've already told you about Lamar. And when you're tight end, you're reliable tight end, can't catch a simple pass. It's over. The Allen might as well leave Buffalo. See not Raiders, damn. I see Broncos, Bears, Commanders, Nine. That's another team I keep seeing, the Niners. No. No. Who do I want to see win a Super Bowl that actually has a shot? I guess I got to go off of what we got now. Because, drafting ain't happened. Free agency ain't really popped off yet. Give it another week. Free agency going to start kicking off and all that good shit. Well, based on the teams we had currently, if there's a team I really was like, yo, you know what? It'd be cool if I saw so and so, win a Super Bowl. They didn't have a chance for real, but I wouldn't have a problem seeing, say, the Panthers winning one. Not gonna happen. or at least not anytime soon. But that would have been cool to see the Panthers win one. Or of course the Packers. Traditional team. Keep up the tradition of starting quarterbacks winning the Super Bowl eventually. Just Jordan Love don't be sending out no dick pics. Eagles already got theirs. We good on that. I don't need no riding ass Eagle fans and shit. You know how I feel about the Steelers. Texans, D'Amico, that would have been cool, but I don't really care for CJ Stroud. And eventually, not with that team, but eventually D'Amico might fuck around and win one. He might be the next Negro to get one. To Allen married to Buffalo for the foreseeable future. So you don't have to win to get to the to get in. 2004 Eagles, great example. They just opened up the link, but they still got the Super Bowl. It was like the second year. I think it was second year they got in there. Because we all know they kept going to the NFC Championship game 5 times before they finally broke through. Jags are due for a championship in the near future. I know they got a new stadium, or my bad, a renovation, not a new stadium, a renovation. Why would they be due for a championship? They had one good year in how long? Why would they be due for one? The Cone logo could be the Packers. I know you can name just about every green team if you want. You can go down with the Jets, the Jags, the Packers. You could name the Dolphins because it's their colors and shit. You can name every orange team, but then you got to really sit back and think. You really think the Browns finna go? The Bengals? Sure, the Bears and Broncos went to the playoffs, but like, come on. Or they might do some roundabout shit with the colors where it's not even those actual colors you see. It's like a mix of those colors. They got on their Bob Ross shit. The Packers versus Broncos, Super Bowl 61. The Lions never won a Super Bowl in 60 years. Yeah, they ain't sniffing shit. NFL don't like small market. Yeah, like the NBA, the opposite. The NBA, they don't give a fuck if you a small market. It's like we could put you in the finals, except unless you the Jazz. It don't really fit their whole ELE. Everybody love everybody shit for obvious reasons. So why does anybody think that the Bengals are 0-3 and why they cheap as fuck too, and they bring in the least amount of revenue? The Bengals did last year, 32nd, last place. They cheap as hell, bro. They have no offensive line. They are known for having no defense. All they are is skill position players on offense. That's it. I feel like at this point the NFL is just trolling us with the color scheme now. Exactly, that's the point. That's the point. They find new shit to troll people with. Whenever something becomes mainstream now, that's what they do. They take it and troll people with it. That's what they did with America 250. They took it and trolled people with it. Rolled it out there because they knew people was gonna bite. Shout out B Fire in the building. He said NFC South for the AFC South. I assume this list, Rob, is of the teams that won't make it. Oh, it definitely is. I saw the Jets on there. Lions, Browns, Bengals, Jags, Jets, Commies, Chargers, Cardinals, Raiders, Cowboys, Chiefs. Yeah. There are more teams than that, but Titans, I could throw them on there too. Strongly think the Packers are due for one either next year or Super Bowl 62. If they want to repeat that Cali boy shit, next year would be the best. Or yeah, this upcoming Super Bowl would be the best one. It's on Valentine's Day. You know that you already know what jokes could be ran with the quarterback last name and all that shit, but we ain't there yet, so time will tell. I forgot the Titans, but definitely more Texans. Yeah, the Eagles just start getting rings. We forgot, so they go into the AFC for sure, and it's beginning to get in. What the fuck? Yeah, I don't know what the fuck I just read. I'm not even gonna hold you. I tried, man. I tried. Don't know what I read. Think they give the Bears a Super Bowl. They high on Caleb Williams. I'll say this: he passed all the black QB tests to win for sure. They like the fact, for one, they like the fact he got the little nail polish shit going on. He drinking what's that? My child's that nasty ass green tea shit. Light skin, all that. He's doesn't have legal issues. Clearly not no street nigga, nothing like that. He would definitely pass the test. And they're an entertaining team to the Bears as a whole. They can have the Chargers go and lose. Man, the Chargers ain't finna do shit. Justin Herbert hasn't even won a playoff game. How do we jump? This is what I'm talking about. But this pattern recognition. How do we jump from their quarterback has never won a playoff game? Like has gone multiple times. This ain't like a Sam Darnold. He went one time, didn't win, and then the next year came back and won some games and shit with a different team. No, we're talking about a dude who has been to the playoffs multiple times. At one point was up 27-0, 27-0, and his opposing quarterback threw four picks in the first half, and still they didn't win. We talking about that motherfucker, and we talking about them in the Super Bowl. What are we talking about? Are you generally curious at what as to what level the game is being manipulated? Does it fall to players too, or is it just the league officials? Man, everybody's involved, from players, coaches, obviously league higher ups, and I ain't gotta tell you referees. That's a given. They just ain't had a mainstream scandal yet about that shit. But I think eventually at some point they gonna have one. And it's gonna get swept under the rug and shit gonna still keep going on like it did with college basketball. There's been numerous point shaving scandals going way back in time before we had smartphones and color TVs and shit, but it's still going on. They've had scandals before Tim Donaghy, but still going on. Clearly, they still had scandals. Said the Wall Chargers ain't winning with Herbert. Chargers plus Herbert. He was annual disappointment. You could throw in the Texans. They the same shit. To hate people being stuck on the referees only being the cheaters. They are the best people to use as fall guys. Either individual players to make it seem like, oh, it's just this player here who was placing the bet, or hooking up his homies with bets and shit like they did with Terry Rozier, Porter, things like that. But yeah, the referees the easiest ones to throw under the table. Because they'll be like, oh, there's just one bad apple. We'll just get rid of him and replace him and everything's okay. We're looking into it. You give up trying to figure it out. If a 4-3 team is gonna make the Super Bowl the next year, like the Patriots just did, then you don't know what to think anymore. Patriots, they are outlier on that shit for the simple fact that they did the lame duck black head coach shit. Like they did with the Cardinals, that they made the playoffs after they got rid of Steve Wilkes for a year. That's what they did with Gerard Mayo. We knew they weren't gonna do shit when he was the head coach. And racist at Boston? This ain't the Celtics now. This ain't Joe Mazzulla. No, that shit was not gonna happen. But when they got in Mike Vrabel, a former player, won Super Bowls for him, had success with the Titans. Shouldn't have even been fired because the Titans ain't been right ever since. Of course they gonna turn around and Drake May show flashes his rookie year. Like, okay, this might be the guy that's gonna stay a little bit longer than Mac Jones did. Last night he looked like Mac Jones though. Seems like after Super Bowl 58, scriptwriter just gave up of trying to make an entertaining Super Bowl. They took that EA Sports route. They said Super Sim that shit. Super Sim and see what happens. Said the brother last name Mayo. That is crazy. They do Packers Broncos since they like rematches. If they were to do that, we know the Broncos would lose that shit. Think the Niners trade Mac Jones? He actually didn't play too bad this year. I'm curious if he ends up getting another starting job somewhere. Might end up. Actually, now I think about it, because I'm thinking of Sam Darnold. He was with the Niners at one point. He went to the Super Bowl. Obviously didn't play, but he was with the Niners. Ended up with the Vikings, and that's when his career started to take off. So maybe Mac Jones might be one of them redemption arcs. Not saying the Super Bowl, but one of those. He might be better than what he was with, say, the Patriots, Jacksonville, etc. So how do the NFL fanboys explain quarterbacks throwing INTs on purpose, or how players on defense trip or stumble on purpose, or how a running back drops the football before scoring a touchdown? Loaded question. Number one, about the picks. I've seen some people say like, "Oh, it was on the receiver because of this." I'm like, the quarterback straight up stared the nigga down and threw it right at him. Like, here you go. Let's see, defensive player. What do you say? Defensive players tripping and shit. That should be goofy as hell when they do that too. That's some shit they really shouldn't be able to explain. And when you talking about dropping the ball before scoring, this shit, for one, this has happened at, unfortunately, every level ever since Deshaun Jackson did that shit and it became popular. You see this in middle school. You see that, you see this in Pop Warner with kids doing this stupid shit. High school, you see kids doing this dumb shit. College, especially. I'm gonna say this: when it comes to college and above, they know what they doing when they do that shit. Cause they try to make it seem like it's all innocent. He thought he had it and he just wasn't thinking. If it's a high schooler, oh yeah, that motherfucker probably just careless, immature high school, and not really locked in, not really focused. Especially if they a kid popping one in middle school. But when you get to college, you doing that shit. You can't tell me a coach has never told you don't don't be loose with the football. Run, hold that motherfucker tight all the way to the end zone. So Mac Jones was just never bad. Made the Pro Bowl. This is not the same Pro Bowl. He was an alternate. That don't count. That nigga was an alternate. He was alright at best with the Patriots. And then things got worse. Granted, he didn't really have shit to throw to. Chances Shador Sanders makes it to a Super Bowl. His narrative is looking like a good one to exploit for ratings. If he is in a Browns uniform, I can guarantee you that shit ain't gonna happen. For one, it's the Browns. Would it be great for ratings? Absolutely. And he would get shamed like Cam Newton. It would be bad. It'd be ugly. But I highly doubt it. I highly doubt it. As bad as they did him just to get drafted and shit. Come on. The NFL don't rock with Rodgers, or at least not anymore. So he's off. He's off the list. The NFL's making it obvious. Cleveland Cavaliers, I guess, would never win. Or no, what? Wait, what? Oh, I was looking at the wrong shit. The NFL's making it obvious that it's scripted and rigged and all the sport. I mean, they had commercials telling you to your face, and now even say player podcast, they allude to it. Some of them get defensive when they bring that shit up, but they allude to it. They say it on ESPN, etc., and try to joke it off. People didn't think the Cavs will ever win, and they did with LeBron. Nigga, that's LeBron. Of course. Hope Josh Dobbs win the Super Bowl. Man, shout out Josh Dobbs. That'd be cool, man. He been a journeyman, fellow VFL and shit like that. But last night I ain't want him to get one because fuck the Patriots. Nothing personal. But yeah, that would be cool. He went as a backup or some shit. The NFL with dead ass had an NFC team put up 50 points of Shadur winning the Super Bowl. Boy, that man first snap, he probably throw a pick. Nah, fuck that. He probably fumble and throw a pick on the first play. Yeah, that's some of the most obvious rigging by dropping the football before you scored a touchdown. Mm-hmm. Like homeboy DeMarcado for the Cardinals. Held that ball out like this, let dude swat it. Knock that shit out. Like you could have just took one more step before you did this shit. I want to celebrate. Hold on, we got 64 people in here, 19 likes. Smash that damn like button, man. What y'all doing? Hit that motherfucking like button. So everyone looks like UFC when asked. Did Josh Dobbs come from Tennessee? Yeah. Yeah, he was in school there when I was there. Like it was normal. You see him on the back when hoverboards was like a relevant thing. You see him ride, I guess glide. What the? I don't even know. It ain't walking. He ain't riding the class. I guess riding the class on the hoverboard, going down hills and shit. Every time they showed him on ESPN, they made a point that he was an aerospace engineer. We all got tired of hearing it because we know that's the first. To this day, anytime you talk to anyone and you talk about Josh Dobbs, like, "Yeah, did you know that he had an internship with NASA and all this?" Like, nigga, yes, yes, it was a news story. We know, but no, he a cool dude though. I ain't gonna lie. I didn't cross paths with him a few times. Met his dad and shit. He cool dude though. I do remember one time in college though. I cannot make this shit up. I was studying a finals at the library. I usually like to go to the back near the corner near a window, put my headphones in, just lock in, study, knock my shit out. In the middle, they have these soundproof, clear, I guess plexiglass, whatever rooms and shit you can rent out. They got a whiteboard if you need to do notes. Usually engineer students or like super complicated math that I can't understand. They in there. So I walked past. I looked to my left. I was like, yo, that's Josh Dobbs. He's very recognizable. He don't have eyebrows. He got the alopecia. I look in there and I shit you not, I saw about 9 Asians. All I got this crazy engineering equation of letters and numbers. I didn't know what the fuck I was reading. Just like it looked like they was tutoring him on something. He was sitting there like locked in, like engaged. And I was just like, I remember that episode of Blue Mountain State when they were talking about football players had nerds and shit. And I was thinking, this nigga got a team of Asians as tutors. Like it you can't make this shit up, bro. Like what the fuck? Appreciate the super chat, man. The NBA, NHL champs this year. RP to Drew Lock MVP back. Man, I didn't even bring that up about Drew Lock. What are they 4-0 now? NFL teams that got a backup quarterback from Missouri. Two of those wins was it Chase Daniel won 2 of them. I know it was Blaine Gabbert, excuse me. NBA, man, I'm looking at them Spurs, man. As of right now, the Spurs. NHL, I could not tell you. I ain't been locked in watching hockey. At some point, they're gonna give Wemby a ring for sure. He just want to play. He gonna get a ring. I mean, hell, he went to the Spurs. In the last 10 Super Bowls, only 3 different AFC teams have made it. Chiefs, Patriots, Bengals. God damn. And none of them is that team near Toronto. That's crazy. And the AFC Championship games have either been the Patriots or the Chiefs the last 14 to 15 years. Half my life. And one year they played each other, and that was essentially the almost passing of the torch. And it was the one D4 got called for neutral zone infraction. And that's when it really made me question shit. Like the Patriots always they backs against the wall. They always wiggle out and fuck around and win the shit like Floyd Mayweather in a boxing match. It don't make sense. They can have the NFC dominate the AFC in the Super Bowl like the 80s. I do like the fact when they do have NFC teams, they typically try to switch it up a little bit if they do win. AFC, we've seen what teams it's been. I don't know. I just feel like the NFC teams they make it seem more exciting, or at least the way they present the team as a whole. Like the Legion of Boom, even though it was a blowout and the game was over, really after the first quarter, they had personalities. Like yo, they got Marshawn Lynch, Richard Sherman. That shit was exciting to watch to see that. I mean, Marshawn Lynch is must see TV no matter what he does. It's more about Goodell's own relationship with those team owners. I mean, sure, he cool with Jerry Jones. He one of the ones that helped set up the TV deals. Hence why the Cowboys get rewarded with all these primetime games. Because that's where more than half they schedule are primetime games. It is very normal. They might get three in a row. It might be Sunday night football, then Monday night football, then Thursday night football, and then oh shit, it's a holiday, Christmas or Thanksgiving, prime time again. On the flip side, Robert Kraft, he played his role too. He got repaid in rings and trophies. How about Giants win division only if Russ is off the team? I heard this might be not this season that happened, but the next season might be his last. 'Cause I know he's entering his 15th season. Each team Russ was on, they made the playoffs. Denver, Seattle. Well, obviously not the Giants. Steelers. Sure did. It makes sense for them to push folks like, damn, I just lost it. Dart, Dak. Dak is one of the older quarterbacks. He ain't one of them young quarterbacks. Jaden and Hurts. Hurts still been in the playoffs. The Eagles as a team still be in the playoffs. Still going to be a polarizing quarterback even after winning. Whether they say he's overrated or there's always going to be this back and forth with him. Dak, another polarizing one. Whether he's good or he's bad, is back and forth. Jaden, you got to stay healthy, nigga. Slide. Dart, slide too. Your favorite team is in the AFC, but for some reason you like when NFC teams win the Super Bowl. First Super Bowl since '52, they didn't have the Rams or Chiefs. Yeah, that Missouri shit over with. Said Dart over Dak, Jaden and Hurts. You don't like that, but you saying them folks want Dart to succeed. I mean, I know I joke and say that's blacks and dark, but I mean, he look at him, look at Dak, look at Jaden and Hurt. They really could make like a color spectrum out of the NFC East quarterbacks when you think about it. You just line up Dart right here, then you got Dak, Hurts, Jaden, color spectrum. They need a Crayola sponsorship for real for some like color pencils or something. Giants ain't winning with Harbaugh. No coaches ever won in both conferences. I'm ready for this shit show to happen for the Giants. I just want to see how this goes. Either it could go, they make the playoffs, but they lose like the Ravens been doing. They blow fourth quarter. Wait, they already blow fourth quarter leads. I take that back. I'm just curious how this goes. Dart and Scatterboo, the unhinged white boy combo. Yes, they are. I was disappointed when Scat got hurt. I was like, damn, that shit was entertaining. So when Mendoza ran back was 50 yards for a safety. I think that was against Iowa, if I recall. He ready for the rigged NFL. Man, that shit was the most blatant thing I've ever seen. I'm curious what the over under actually wait. College they typically don't do prop bets like that. They could just reuse this year's script next year and have the Niners win in the Rams Stadium like Seattle won in theirs. Making that what 3 teams to win in their division rival stadium, Chiefs, Seahawks, Niners. I wouldn't bank on it with Shanahan though. He'd had too many chances and again pattern recognition, man. Too many chances. Like Andy Reid with the Eagles specifically. Never won the big game. Got there, don't get me wrong, but never won it. Always went to the NFC Championship game, lost. Finally got there, ran into this team called the Patriots. We know how that went. Kyle Shanahan, he don't make Falcons 28-3. Super Bowl against the Chiefs twice. 10-point lead. Fourth quarter, gone, evaporated. They're gonna have Harbaugh blow big leads again on a team that already had that problem. Somebody made like a whole collage of all the blown leads. It takes up like the entire page, and I'm just like, damn. It's bad when you look at some of them scores too. Like 35-14 sticks out the most. That Ravens Dolphins game was it Tyreek and Jalen Waddle scored. I mean, they fast as fuck, but still inexcusable how quickly they scored. That is the most egregious thing I've seen. A 35 to 14 fourth quarter lead against the Dolphins. Jets will see success again before the Giants. You sure about that, bro? You sure about that? They talking about getting Kyler Murray. You sure about that? What have the Jets done in 15 years? Make you think that. What have they done? It's what we talking about. That benefit of the doubt shit. What are we talking about here? What are we talking about? Justin Fields. He had games where he didn't have 100 yards passing. Shit, some he didn't have 80. What are we talking about? They had a future Hall of Fame quarterback. That shit didn't work. What are we talking about? Roger better not turn to Adam Silver. We seen it happen slowly. He not fucking with the small market teams like that, but we seeing it right now. Telling script writers get back to cooking in this Super Bowl. I'm telling you, Roger Goodell, he gonna have to come out like Triple H. He gonna spit water and shit. It's getting to that level. They might have to pull a Roman Reigns or The Rock. They're gonna have to call somebody to come out of retirement to save their ass. But hey, yo, Tom, we need you. Remember that time we made you come back? That one time you retired, you tried to retire. He was like, "Nah, nigga, you ain't gonna do that." Tom, we need you again. Get out the booth. We need you, Tom. We need asses and seats. Come on, Tom. We know you can't move. We know that ain't the same time, but like we need you, dog. We'll plug a charger to the side the whole game so you don't die. Come on, Tom. Save the league, Tom. Said they gonna get the Alabama QB just like Namath was the Alabama quarterback. Namath gonna pass and the curse is lifted. There's a lot there going on. Cap and cheese, boy, you living up to cap like a motherfucker for sure. But there's a lot going on right there. If you talking about Ty Simpson, come on, bro. Derek Carr, don't nobody want to see that shit. Derek Carr might be one of the first quarterbacks we've seen where everybody was happy he retired. Don't nobody want to see that shit. Said 35-14 don't hurt as much as 28-7 against the Eagles in the last 8 minutes. Oh shit. Said they in New York, the Jets is cooked. The Jets are cooked every year. Jets are cooked in the off season. It'd be insane if in the playoffs the Giants out of all teams blow lead to the Falcons. Oh, that's another team that ain't recovered from 28-3. They ain't been right ever since. They ain't got their head coaching shit right yet either. Harbaugh almost lost that Super Bowl 28-6. Yeah, that shit was up. Jacoby Jones should have won that MVP, but you know. And that would have been a good story too, because he's from New Orleans. RIP, by the way, but that would have been a good story, but nah, they had to give it to Flacco. Because he the quarterback, you know. You know how they go. Even though the NFC's won the last 2 Super Bowls, however, since the 2000s, the AFC leads 15-11. Thanks to 2 of them motherfucking teams. I'm getting one last comment. I'm going to slide up out of here. Nigga, I'm hungry at midnight. No munchies. Yeah, we can end it with the one King Kane said. Just glad they ain't push Allen. Yeah, we can all agree on that. We can 100% agree on that. But yeah, man, it was fun chopping up with y'all for almost an hour. I had 30 seconds. But yeah, man, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell. Stay warm, drink water, wear condoms, say no to drugs. Triple H, you suck. And we out.